Welcome back to Dark Souls 2 once again. When I said, yeah, when I told people I will see you next week on Wednesday, what I actually meant is I will see you Friday, because I forgot that Wednesday isn't Friday. That's the sort of week I've been having.
Yeah.
So as usual, I have no memory of what we're doing. Grave of the Saints.
Right, we are in the Ratacombs.
Ah, that's right. I remember now. Ah, hold on. As always, my windows are now messed up. Let me readjust them. There we go. Oh, I'm just having a heck of a time waking up today for whatever reason. So...
Tell me about it. I went to bed 3 hours ago.
Jeez, really?
Yeah. It was a late night Gloomwood sesh.
Oh. Why can't I hit him?
I don't know.
Can I lock onto it? Okay, that's very strange. Is this guy just... What does the message say? Poor soul ahead. Huh.
He may be a poor soul, but he's
He's
the strongest soul.
Yeah, he's a very resilient poor soul. All right. So, actually, wait, if we're fighting rats, maybe I should have a different weapon out. Not that the bonk stick has steered me wrong before, but I feel like rats are going to be more of a, I don't know, pokey stick sort of enemy, maybe. We'll see, at least. All right, pokey stick time.
So there's no, I don't think there's a word message for rat here.
Oh, really?
In this game. So the last time I played through this area, which wasn't that long ago, it was like maybe a couple months ago, everyone was using messages with the word horse to represent rat.
Whoops. No, don't want to use the lockstone. I didn't even see that. I was trying to read the message. Here we go. Want to see the... Are those rats in there? I think so. Liar ahead. No, not the lockstone. No, I want to read the message. Shortcut. How many lockstones do I have? Let's take care of these rats first. This looks like a trap. Is there a thing there? Look at them just hanging out.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Tears. They look so goofy just hanging out there.
Maybe they're nice rats because you're part of the rat covenant.
Oh, that's true. Is that a... Will that mean that rats won't attack me?
I ripped that out of my butt. I don't know.
There's another lockstone. Hello, Chuma. It is that time of day indeed.
Really?
Regret ahead.
If you're in the covenant, the enemies here are non-hostile? Okay.
Dang. Okay, so your joke your joke comment turned out to be Miyazaki game design.
Nice.
So I just found another bonfire. This rear horse. I wonder if can I talk to those rats then? Can I commiserate with them about rat covenant things? Haven't been keeping up with this playthrough. Favorite boss so far?
Clearly the Royal Rat Authority.
Yes, obviously. Other than that, hi guys. Fatty, therefore impossible. Nope, they're just gonna chill there. Maybe Royal Rat Authority just for the comedy value. What are all these Pharaoh's lockstones doing here? Or Pharos, rather, not Pharaoh's lockstones. Wow, there's a lot of them. Are these, is this another, like, trap area?
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh, okay. Those are such an interesting mechanic. The Pharaoh's lockstones. there's some rats. That's a giant skeleton. Is this
chained up giant skeleton?
Yeah. Is this the Tomb of the Giants?
Crushed pelvises.
Crushed pelvises. The death by Snoo Snoo smile and then look of horror is so perfect. Okay, what is... Okay, so surely this lockstone would bring this bridge down, right? Maybe? Well, let me look at the wall of... what is that? Smoke? Wall of light? I forget. What are those? Fog wall. Fog wall. Yeah.
Vape wall.
Vape wall. Yeah, like I said, my brain is just not working today. Dylan's a bit quiet. Okay. Let me adjust the volume then. Oh, he's all the way up. Is the game kind of quiet also? I might have just turned down... Dylan, say something.
Bacon, 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 bacon.
That should work. Levels look good on that. How is the puppy doing? She's doing great. She is now full-grown dog size, and mostly is getting better about like all of the puppy behavior.
Somehow I don't think these rats will be non-hostile.
Those rats do not look non-hostile. Yeah. Oh wow!
So you know the thing you said about not bringing in the bonk stick?
Yeah, I regret that now.
It was a mistake.
It was. Oh, that didn't kill him? Oh, jeez. Yeah, bonk stick would have been...
They have 300 health and you did 299.
Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna bring the bonk stick in. Here come the boys. Yep. Oh, and then they just all scutter back into the holes.
Like, we got him. We got him, boys.
We did it, boys.
Vermintide.
Yep. Okay, bonk stick. What do the messages say? Tough enemy ahead. Be wary of enemy horde. So could I leave a message that... Here, let's see if there's anything funny I can leave. If I remember how to leave messages in this game. Yeah, here we go. So what could I... So could I say like horses ahead or something? I guess that's not... I was hoping there was gonna be some way I could say like immense amounts of horses ahead or something like that. Has the death counter been broken for a while now? Yeah, you're right, it didn't go up. Let me take a look.
This fog wall is actually, we just got a early build of the Silent Hill 2 remake. We're actually playing that right now. It's a little different now. They made a couple changes.
Dressing
like,
James in the jester outfit wasn't interesting.
James in the jester outfit. The rats are part of his tortured
yeah.
trauma.
Let's see. Everything looks like it's set up correctly on my end. So There could just be a... Yeah, the death counter might just not be working. Why is my cat... Yes, kitty? Cat? Where are you? There you are. What's wrong? What? He's going like... Row, row, row. Anyway, let's deal with these rats.
Oh no.
There we go. I got what? One of them?
800 to go.
Yep. Okay, there's those. There's those.
See, there was the Royal Rat Authority, and now they've turned into a democracy.
The Royal Rat Democracy. Royal Rat Vanguard. That's so funny. They like sequel to the Royal Rat Authority. Wait, why does the health bar not go down for some of them?
So there's the ones with very spiky hair are the only ones that count.
What?
This is a representative democracy.
This is such a stupid boss. I love it. Like, why don't we just flood the room with rats?
Game design.
Yeah.
This is,
oh man.
You're getting the Radicum treatment from another developer.
Yeah. Deaths went up 385. It might have been broken. There was a stream where it was broken because I forgot to I forgot to actually point it at the right file.
Oh yeah, Monomyth is coming out. Is that the full release, or are they doing early access on Steam? I backed that like a million years ago.
Same.
And played the like demo of it, and it was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna wait until it's fully out.
Oh, this probably is the best weapon for this, and I just need to be better.
Cool.
That's early access. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for early access to be done. My thing is, I don't want to like get my fill of the game in a half completed form.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like that with Gloomwood, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for the early access to be done. I'm like, that's the way I treat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would
early
do.
Access games.
Why does the health bar take a little bit to actually show up?
Because the first Parliament rat takes a little while to show up.
It takes a while for Parliament to actually be in session.
Yeah. It's just the,
my
the
gosh.
rabble rousers.
There's so many of them. So many rats. This is now just... Go ahead.
This is just the most like intricate game of whack-a-mole ever.
Yes. Why will you not die, rat? Ow. No. No. I was
so
too determined to get that hit in that I know. It cost me everything.
You should have jumped attacked him.
Oh yeah, you're right. I wonder if No, I don't think the pancaking them would really have much of an effect.
Well, it would have I don't think you can interrupt the jump attack.
Oh, really? Yeah, this is basically so I'm a big fan of EDF, which I've probably talked about before, and I keep thinking like how potentially cool it would be to have like I guess like a fantasy setting EDF, which I know that's probably, what is that? Dynasty Warriors. I guess that's kind of what Dynasty Warriors is, right?
Right, yeah.
But I'm thinking specifically like it's literally Earth Defense Force, same like bug enemies and everything, but you're just in like a medieval fantasy setting.
Did you see what Steve posted last night?
Was it about Earth Defense Force? Because if so, I didn't.
No, so there was an IGN trailer for a Mars Attacks game.
Oh, yeah, and they made it like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something?
It's not even that like, oh, you know, Roller Coaster Tycoon game in the vein of Mars Attacks is like the worst idea ever.
Mm-hmm.
But it also looks really bad. And I'm like, man, we finally get a game based upon this IP. And it's like not even the kind of game that I want, and it looks bad.
Oh,
I'm just like,
man.
I love Mars Attacks. Why would you do this?
That's so frustrating. You know, that wasn't the direction I aimed the jump attack. That was supposed to be a jump attack.
Yeah. I think Simon posted like a video about what each of the like stick inputs for all the Dark Souls games
saw
were.
that. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, some of them were so freaking weird.
By some of them, you mean this game.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, some of the other ones were, too. I actually didn't realize there were dead zones in the other games.
Yeah, so...
It's interesting.
Yeah, Simon and I were talking about that, and, like, Elden Ring having... Like, there's dead zones, and then there's, like, snap zones, where basically, like, even if you're inputting there, it'll still do the cardinal directions. And,
where is the Mohawk
the sort of the snap zones for Elden Ring helps make some of the more thinner platforming easier. Whereas, like, because, like, Sekiro and Dark Souls 1 don't have those, so, like, Sekiro, it's kind of fine because if you fall, it's not a permanent death. You just get respawned with less health.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
which
not something I ever thought would be in a FromSoft game.
Which you think is like, oh man, that sounds way more forgiving, but you end up platforming a lot more in Sekiro because...
Oh, that's probably why then.
Yeah.
We're like, this isn't just, we don't just add the platforming when we want you to fall off and die, like in Dark Souls.
Correct. Yeah. You're navigating with the harpoon, the grappling hook.
Oh my gosh, I can't even get a hit in on them.
But the other one that had
so
full
goofy.
free range of movement was Dark Souls 1. And if you remember, platforming some of that, the like, you know, the thin beams in Anor Londo and stuff like that.
It's really precarious.
Yeah, it is much more precarious.
There we go. Oh, look at him go!
Yeah, that's amazing.
Got one of them. I got the Royal Vanguard soul. Yeah, I remember going across narrow platforms in Dark Souls 1 feels like you're going across narrow platforms.
Yeah. And it's so precarious because even the slightest minuscule change in direction can send you like moving not in the direction that you think you're going.
Yeah.
Which is that we talk about this a lot when we do streams and stuff like that, but the whole there's no such thing as like a sort of bad mechanic. It's just everything is in context.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, you know, they look at stuff like dead zones and full freedom of motion with sticks and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, full freedom is good. Anything that like snaps you into a direction is bad because that's limiting. But it really is like, what is the game trying to do? And for something like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, the gist was kind of, we're going to make you do platforming, but you're also going to have to deal with enemies on those platforms, and that's going to be kind of part of the challenge, so we're not going to make it so walking a straight line is hard. Whereas, like, in Dark Souls 1, walking the straight line on a beam is hard.
Yeah. So Dylan, was this by any chance the inspiration for certain textures in the upcoming Gloomwood update?
So actually, that the texture that you're talking about is actually inspired by the big body masses in New Londo in the first game.
Okay, gotcha.
Which actually kind of do have this effect on it as well, just not to this degree.
Please admire this skull just poking out of the guy's chest here.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, the skull has like a pointy head to it. That is a low poly skull, isn't it? Are all these low poly skulls? Oh, they kind of are.
Yeah, it looks like they shoved a bunch of low poly skulls into the texture that has like a very high normal.
Yeah, it's really amazing how like careful use of like the normal smoothing can make something look way higher poly than it actually is. Because if you look at the actual lines of those skulls, those are like low. Quake 1 low poly.
Yeah, those are low poly.
With the smoothing and the, you know, the like, I don't know, what all do they have on? It's kind of hard to see because it does the depth of field thing up close. But I'm trying to see if the eyeballs are... I think those are just a normal map, right?
Yeah, they might have just the slightest indent.
It's hard to tell, which means it's really good. It's good work when it's hard to tell. I think they might have the slightest bit of indent, but they look very convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of staring at the texture.
These games like texture work is so funny because
it's
like
really interesting to look at. Yeah.
They do a great job of just trying to convey something with just the barest minimum of just like pile of bones, low poly skulls, done. Pillar of trash, just shove chairs in it, done.
Perfect, good enough. Yeah. Was Doom 3 madly ahead of others doing that kind of thing? I don't think it was madly ahead of others, at least, well, maybe relative to the time it was. But that was sort of the era of starting to do a lot more of that. I mean, so one thing I'm actually not clear on, maybe someone in chat knows this, is did Unreal Engine 1 have like normal smoothing, or was the smoothness of like the lighting and stuff on that due to vertex lighting rather than per pixel?
Oh,
I don't actually know the answer to that. That was something we were discussing with Secret Agent Wizard Boy, because Evan and Johnny want to sort of emulate the Unreal 1 aesthetics. And that was something where I was like, I mean, I know stuff like if you play anything from late 90s or early 2000s, it looks smooth. Like everything looks like it's very smoothly lit. You're not seeing a lot of like really blatant flat surfaces, but I'm not actually clear if that's actual like normal smoothing or if it's just because they were using vertex lighting for all of them and that tends to look, you know, relatively smooth.
I want to say using vertex lighting, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, not either. If anyone knows the answer, let me know.
Sadly, most of my circle of devs are like hyper fixated on every engine but Unreal 1. So
it's kind of weird that there isn't a lot of, there's not like a lot of Unreal 1. Man, I'm trying to think up a good way to say it without saying it the obvious way, and I'm coming up blank. But like, there's not a lot of Unreal 1-tism like there is for Gold Source or id Tech anything, or you know, not a lot for Unreal 1, which is sad because the Unreal 1 engine was super cool.
Yeah.
Models were vertex and world geometry was hard edged. Yeah, that's what I thought. But do you know if there was any sort of smoothing going on, or it was you think it was just vertex lighting? That's what I would guess. I'll have to go back and look to see. It's really crazy how nice vertex lighting can look with well-placed vertexes. Or vertices, not vertexes.
It's kind of a double-edged sword because it can look really good with well-placed vertices, and then it can look really bad with not well-placed vertices.
Yeah. All right, I will talk to him finally. Speak their minds. Oh. Is that it? Oh, wow. Offer rat tail. Is there any reason I shouldn't do this?
Nope, it's like the covenant item.
Okay. My devotion to the covenant has deepened. Oh, I have no offerings. What do you have to sell me? Uses acid to destroy equipment.
Yeah, I know for
Okay, cool.
for doing the mouth stuff for Grezzo and the Countess, we heavily looked at how Deus Ex does its mouth shape movement, and that basically that was all.
Whoa!
The big skeleton tomb, man.
Giant.
We animated basically a bunch of mouth movements and vowel shapes, and then ran the audio files through a mouth shape generator, and that's what basically when the merchant or the countess speak, that's basically it's picking mouth animations from a mouth animation sheet that's auto generated from the sound file.
Yeah, it's really funny too because at the time I seem to remember that Deus Ex's animation, like mouth animations, were criticized for not looking good.
I think they're awesome.
I love them. Yeah. Man, where am I now? Try confidence. Escape from Butcher Bay was their own custom engine, I think, wasn't it? I think it looks really similar to id Tech 4, and I thought it was id Tech 4 for a while, but I was told it's actually their own thing. Leadstone, huh? Okay. Oh, where am I? I was kind of hoping to go check out some of the Pharos Lockstones, which I may still be able to do once I figure out where I am. Obviously somewhere I've already been since that chest is open. Oh, yeah. I know where this is. Okay.
Yep.
So, wow. Okay.
Nice.
Got it. Disc chime. What is that? Oh, the recently picked up menu from Elden Ring is sorely missed.
Yeah, it's so funny that it took them until Elden Ring to do that.
Yeah. Oops. What is a disc chime? I'm just looking to see if there's anything that looks unfamiliar.
So
I don't
if
think
I
it's a
recall,
ring, is it?
A chime in this game is the casting
okay.
catalyst for faith spells.
Okay.
Incantations.
Gotcha. It's a
it's
shield?
a shield? What?
Is it this? No, that's Wicked Eye Great Shield.
I'm not seeing it in here.
Silverback. Oh, there's some shields I haven't looked at in here. I'm not seeing it.
I thought it was a catalyst.
What is this thing? It's a thing. I wonder if that's... Well, I don't need a shield with the bonky stick. Alright, so now I'm here. I'd like to get back and see if crossing that... Oh, these guys, right. Shoot. Oh. That's okay, I'll make my way back. I should have healed. Why didn't I heal? Starbreeze engine. Okay, that's what it used. Which, they used their own engine for Syndicate? I didn't know that. I guess I just assumed that Syndicate was... I don't know. something else. The Bloom game. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm all the way back here. Right. Oh, right. They did the Darkness. Didn't a bunch of Starbreeze employees move on to Machine Games, or am I making that up?
Probably. I think I recall hearing that. They had a big exodus of people.
Yeah.
When, you know, they blew it like $1 billion on Star VR and a bunch of other
Yeah.
bad ideas.
They were later on, they were mixed up in the whole, oh, what was that whole thing? It was like a Walking Dead game.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Overkill's The Walking Dead or something like that. Okay, so if I drop down here, should be good.
And then there's also Payday 3, which
yeah,
completely shit the bed.
Yeah. Whew. What do I want to do with them? Pokey stick. Pokey stick and shield. Has not failed me yet, except for the times where it has failed me. First, I need those back. Where'd the other ones go? Oh, they went right there. Okay. How did I take no damage from that? Wow. There we go. Wow, I don't remember. I definitely remember this place. I don't remember where it goes, though. Well, that goes to a chest that I've already opened. $380. It seems like that's how many you get playing these games. Yeah, I've never actually counted my deaths in Dark Souls before. Oh, this is dark. I just need to find a bonfire. That was okay. That kind of worked, actually. Might as well do it here, too.
I wish I liked Machine Games output. Yeah. I like the Quake episode that they did.
Yeah, their episodes that they've done for the ports, the different ports are pretty cool. They did the Quake 2 ones also, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, I remember this now. Yeah, back in the gutter.
David trying his very best to avoid using Homeward Bones.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess in my mind I'm like, well, surely there's a bonfire close. But I probably should just use a Homeward Bone, you're right. You don't like those episodes, Strata? How come? Okay. So I'm here. First thing to do is to go spend my souls before I lose them. What do we got? What's that do? That's equip load.
Oh man, you are right on the edge of 30 for both.
Yeah. Well, the bonk stick is doing well, but the pokey stick is also doing well. I'll take strength up. All right. Now I want to investigate the lockstone area a little more. Is that...
I think it's the one before this one.
This one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that second one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I like the direction they took in those episodes, not because I think that's like the right direction to take like all Quake stuff, but I think like after 30 odd years of Quake modding and like Arcane Dimensions, I think the only way you can sort of stand out anymore is to do something that doesn't feel super like original Quake.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how I feel also.
Yeah.
All right, ditto.
Because there's already such a strong showing of like, oh, this is what original Quake is like.
Whisper of Despair. Guessing that's a spell. I want to light my torch to go down there. I can't light my torch on the other torches. That wouldn't make sense. Oh well. It's not too dark. The fuck? Oh, it's... okay. I didn't understand what that was for a second. That's a stone rat. That is also a stone rat. These seem like things that will come to life. Well, I'm going to be fighting something in here. Or perhaps not. Where does this go? Oh, I see where that goes. Back out to there. Oh, if I wasn't in the Covenant, rats would come out. Okay. So I can lower a bridge to go over there. Is there a reason I need to go over there via bridge, though, is the question. Oh, the rat statues are to trick people into thinking they're enemies. Gotcha.
Yeah, this would be another room where you get attacked by a bunch of rats.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
It just switched to... It just switched it. It didn't exit. I assumed it was going to exit.
Yeah, annoyingly, that's only something that more... actually, I don't know if that happened in Dark Souls 1, but I know it definitely happens in Elden Ring.
Where it just, like, booted. Kicks you out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I can... That's probably death down there. And that's where I came from. So I could lower this, but I don't know why.
I guess if you were going the other way around.
I guess. I'm just confused because like that bridge up there I can get to by just climbing up this ladder. So why is there another one here?
Dark Souls 2.
You're right. That's the answer. Is it's because it's Dark Souls 2. What is up there? Oh, that's the skeleton. Yeah. Okay. I think that. Ooh, the low poly skulls. You can get a better look at them here. Wow, look at how pointy they are.
Yeah, they are very. You could
so
cut something with that.
Yeah. It's great. And then from far off, you don't really notice. Okay, Ratacombs. Did Ratacombs. That just, and then doing the Ratacombs just led me in a loop, I think. Castlevania 64 skulls, yeah. Oh, can you use the lockstone again to raise it back up? Or can you only have one bridge up at a time? Is that what you're saying? So you could like trap them by putting a lockstone in down there, and then that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure I get it. That is okay though. Oh, have I been in there? Yeah, that's where I fought the. That's where I fought the oodles and oodles of rats.
The rat representative democracy.
Yep. So yeah, if we go this way, and then that just leads us back down the hole. Okay. And then the hole leads us into the gutter. Alright, well, I'm gonna go back to Majula and figure out what to do next. Dark Souls 2 oodles and oodles of rats. It is kind of what this game is. There's the DLC area. I did the swamp. Rat area. Where did I come from here? I like the rat entrance. That's fun.
Yeah.
Ah, right. The ladder maxing pit.
Ladder pilled.
Yep. Based on ladder pilled. Alright, so what to do next?
So I think your next the next leg is go to the warping menu. I believe it is. Where is this? Is there more options if you go down?
Yes.
Go down again. Yeah, so Brightstone, one up from here, Brightstone Cove.
Did I not do that?
So you didn't finish it off.
Okay.
There's more. There is in fact more here.
Ah. Does the cloth in? Oh, wow. The cloth does interact with my character. Look at that. Look at that. Cloth physics. Those are very nice cloth physics, too.
Yeah, I don't even think the more modern software games do cloth physics like this anymore.
Yeah. Huh. That's a really random detail. Just gonna ignore all of you guys. Or try to ignore at least. We'll see if I'm successful. High quality cloth, low quality skulls. Yeah. Ooh. Ah. Ah!
Into the well.
Yeah. Got a smooth and silky stone from the horror pig. What did that do for me? Was that advantageous at all? Well, it got me to a chest. Ah! What? I didn't know there could be metal mimics. I thought they were all wood. That's why I didn't test it. I love mimics. What? No online? Oh, that's right. I'm not online. I need to fix that. It said it lost its connection to Steam. You online, Steam? Steam seems fine. It's probably just Dark Souls being Dark Souls.
Let me see if I've got a connection to Steam.
Logging in. And oh, this doesn't bode well. It's taking a while. Oh yeah, this isn't gonna go well. I will try restarting the game. Dylan?
I'm here.
Oh, it did that because my stream ended, didn't it? On on Discord. Or can you see?
Oh. No, I can't see.
Okay. Let me restream. Come on, Dark Souls 2, you can do it. While we're here, notice that the background, that like black leather background, is mirrored. If you look at the center, you can see that the texture is mirrored at the center.
Oh, I'm never gonna be able to unsee that now.
It's when you realize that a whole bunch of doors do that. Like anytime there's double doors in a game. Well, maybe not as much anymore, but it used to be that anytime there's double doors, you can see that it's just the same door texture mirrored.
That's how we do it.
Well, this doesn't look like it's gonna work. I guess Dark Souls 2 is just offline for right now. Chasm of Old Locations. I don't know what those are. Sadly, I guess we'll be playing in offline mode.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's try this again. Does the cloth interact with this? I kind of want to see if the cloth will interact with other parts of the environment. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can get the cloth to move to hit that. Oh, there's a guy in there. Can I alert him? Because if he comes out here, then maybe... Wait, what if I can just go around?
I wonder if the wind is like a canned animation, or if there's actually like a influencer.
That's... Sorry, now I'm distracted by the cloth physics. Like, screw playing the game. I want to see how the cloth physics is working. I have chat to tell me to... Yeah, that's what we sort of did back when we did the Dark Souls 1 stream, right? Because that was when the servers were still offline.
Yeah,
okay, we'll check with these pots.
The remote control exploit.
Yeah, I don't think the cloth actually interacts with other things in the environment. Well, maybe.
It's kind of that's hard to tell. It might be.
I do kind of think that's a canned animation too.
Here, break that jar now.
Whoops. Oh, I think it was. Or no, I see. Yeah, it wasn't. They just made the jar made sure to avoid it with the jar. Okay, anyway, back to playing the game. I love looking at physics implementations and things.
Yeah.
Okay, avoid those guys. You forgot the DS2 servers were turned back on? Oh, drat.
I would say that's what no online play does to a motherfucker, but to be honest, part of the reason why we probably became game devs is that we obsess over this kind of stupid shit.
Yeah. Okay, so trying to run past these guys maybe wasn't the best idea. It worked the first time, but that's what gets you, right? When the tactic works once, and then you're like, well, I know that this works, I just need to try more. Okay, wait, the way is clear now. Can I do it?
I'm so glad someone noted their goofy run animation. It is so goofy.
Is it? Oh, I got it! Nice. I'll have to pay attention next time. Die, shashlik on legs. Automod has blood on its hands. Yeah. Yeah, that message came through a while back. That was what the no online play thing. Yeah, now I'm trying to remember back to, because I've been making games for so long now, I don't even remember I don't remember if that was part of like me wanting to try to make games, or if I even asked those questions before I made games. Or if I was just like, oh, it's all magic, whatever. Oh, this just leads back here. Well, there's a mimic chest. I could defeat the mimic. He's not so tough once you know he's there.
I think they're very weak to lightning, if I recall.
Oh, are they? Okay. That makes sense. These are the infamous falconers. Really?
Yeah, just because of their goofy walk animation, or their goofy run sprint animation.
Well, I'll take a look once I dispatch the pig. Let's see.
So that looks normal, but wait until like they get.
Was it?
There's a specific animation that they do.
Whoa! Wait, was that it?
Yeah, it was happening.
That was so weird.
I was like,
pay attention now.
I was like, why are you gonna hide behind this tree?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, the way they like try and turn and run at the same time just looks absolutely baffling.
Okay, I'm gonna pay attention now so I can see it in its full glory. Impressive in 2024. The wind affects Nathan Drake's individual ball hairs. I know. I'm so much less impressed with things now in games. Like I don't even know why. I guess I've just gotten older. But like when games do something technological, like now it's just like, well, yeah, of course they do. They're, they've put like hundreds of millions of dollars into this. Of course it can do X or whatever.
Yeah,
what were you gonna say, Dylan?
I'm gonna say something that's kind of unfair, but
yeah.
I'm allowed to have some unfair opinions.
Yeah.
It feels different when it's like, okay, this, the balls shrink in Red Dead because we spent billions of dollars on this game and have like, artists being crunched left and right, compared to something like the Dark Souls games or like kind of mid 2000s games had much smaller budgets, and a lot of the times it was just sort of like, oh, here's the tech programmer has something that's sort of working, let's just put it into the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't work amazingly well. It's not like super crafted, but it's very cool that they like tried to do that. It's
Right.
just like a difference of scale. Like one feels
That is so goofy looking.
yeah, it's so goofy. One feels, I guess, more like the developer trying to like do something cool with limited resources, and the other feels like corporate throwing so much money into the pool that, like, yeah, of course the army of artists are gonna have to, like, ante up
Right.
their last game.
Strida, that's a good point also, where it's like when these small details stand out, then it's something special. But when it's just like small details in a sea of other small details, then it's like it's kind of overwhelming. And
that too.
The individual ones lose their luster. That's a good point. I think that is also a big part of it. How do you even describe... That one's fine. How do you even describe that run animation?
It's so cursed.
It's very cursed.
It's very funny though.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ice Cube thing and Metal Gear Solid games are crazy with some of the details. I think... Yeah, Halo 3 had some pretty neat water. I miss the era of water effects being really impressive in games.
And now everyone does screen space. Like,
oh, it's so
shaders for
bad
it,
looking.
and it's terrible looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Screen space for I get it. I get why why you would use screen space instead of other solutions, but they just look so bad.
Yeah.
Like, even when they're really well implemented, it's still kind of like, eh. All right. Okay, there's a whole trail down there. That dude is doing something. It's really funny to see the animations at like half speed. Hold on, stretching my hand out. Mid-2000s water is just so good. Part of it's nostalgia, I think, for me, but I just love that look.
I don't know. Anytime I jump back and play Half-Life 2, I'm always like, good God, this water looks so good.
Oh, there was a rock that just kind of did its thing.
It's funny because I think you saw that trap the last stream or 2 streams ago, and we're like, I'm not falling for that.
I remember this area, and then I fell for it.
Now you fell for it.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I even like was looking for an extended period of time in this direction. Yeah, dude, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, or like Far Cry 1 had really nice looking water also. And it still looks really nice. Like, I think that's part of it also, is that it's when it like mid 2000s especially, were the perfect for water effects, were like the perfect mid ground of it looks believable, but it's not photorealistic, so they would just try to make it pretty in sort of a fantastical way. Like if you play Far Cry 1, like the water, it looks like super clean, like swimming pool at a resort water. It doesn't look like ocean water, but it's like cooler that it looks like that. It's more stylized. It's sort of like a forced forced stylization, if you will.
Nothing will ever impress me as much as the Trespasser demo in 1998.
That's understandable, honestly. That game was, as much as we joke about it, that game was way ahead of its time. Far too ahead of its time for its own good. Like, games are not quite, it was like, games aren't quite ready to deal with realistic physics and stuff like that. Oh man, don't even get me started about anti-aliasing. Oh. Anti-aliasing isn't, like, the traditional methods aren't too bad now that we have pretty high resolution displays. I used to despise anti-aliasing when I had, like, I forget what the resolution was, but like on some of my older monitors, I'd never turn it on. Now it doesn't get quite the same super blurry effect when you're at like HD resolutions, but temporal anti-aliasing, well, I understand why it's a thing, but it's terrible. It looks so bad. Crime.
There's so many games now that, and okay, generalizing, there's definitely games that look gorgeous today. Not all games, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but there are definitely some games out there that I can't even read anything anymore because there's so many shaders and temporal anti-aliasing that everything just becomes one big blurry mess of just meshes and shaders, and I'm just like, God, I just want to be able to see shit again.
Right. Oh man, I need a torch. Well, I guess I don't need a torch. There's a chest in here and more going on. I'm gonna get a torch. Or just use one of my butterflies. Let's actually just use one of the butterflies. Yeah, it's a lot. We're at a point right now where there's definitely
you've passed it a couple times. Go down. There.
Where is it? Where am I? How am I not seeing it? Oh, I'm right on it. Jeez. Yeah. So we've talked a lot about me being bad at navigation. Really random thing that I'm terrible at, to the point where I almost wonder if it's like a micro learning disability or something like that, which is lists or grid displays of things. I cannot read down lists. I get maybe 2 or 3 items in, and then I can't keep going. Like I like skip to the bottom or like somewhere else, and like I can't read them in sequential order. And it's the same thing with grids. Like like I was hovering over that, like I can't see it. Where is it? It's so weird, and I don't know why it is. Yeah, temporal. So I understand why temporal anti-aliasing is a thing, because it solves a lot of like it solves transparency problems technically, because now you can do really cheap transparency with I can't talk, with like dithering effects and have it look relatively good. And stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm not a fan. Okay. Just making sure. Oh, what is it? What is it? It's the spider alarm! Oh no! Get out of here. Get out of here, spider. That's a really nice looking spider, like, model.
These are some, like, Jumanji friggin' spiders.
Yes, they are. Man, spiders get such a bad rap. Like, they literally eat the annoying bad insects and just want to be left alone. Like, they're honestly a great creature to have in your house. It's like, as long as they're not like poisonous and you don't touch them. I killed the chest. Yeah, but I was still able to get the item, right? I just picked it up.
and it's just like 20 heavy bolts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Do those look early 2000s? The spiders? I don't know why. The model just looked really cool to me. I think it's the way they use the specular, like the way the specular look. They looked properly sort of shiny and spider-like.
Hardest boss in the game.
Oh, what am I hearing? Oh Lord. Okay, What is this? Whoa, there's floor ladies. Oh, it was I see now. This is the congregation.
Yep.
What is with this game and just having goofy bosses? I love it, don't get me wrong. Like,
it's funny because this is a concept that they have actually tried 2 or 3 different times. And
yeah.
Whenever we get to Dark Souls 3, you'll see their biggest attempt at doing this kind of boss fight. But it is very funny that they seem to be like, no, this time we'll definitely get the church congregation fight. Like,
we'll get it right
done
this
well.
time.
Yeah.
There we go. Those floor ladies are so hard to hit.
I know, this game, you cannot hit shit on the floor unless your weapon basically pancakes. The tracking is just so bad.
Yeah. That was pretty that was pretty pinwheel coded. That boss.
Yeah, I can see False Idol kind of being like that. There's ads during False Idol, right? I can't remember if it starts with ads or she summons ads. I just remember her putting down the trap magic. Oh, she spawns clones of herself.
Oh, this isn't gonna work at all. Oh. I thought I was being smart. Dang it. Should never try to be smart. Alright, the lightning pokey stick is about to break, so I'm gonna get this thing out.
Can someone explain Dark Souls? I've never played it. Oh boy.
Imagine Looney Tunes, but you are Wile E. Coyote. That's Dark Souls. Ooh, bonfire. Nice. I realized the other day, so you guys know how every fandom is gonna have toxic elements, but there are definitely some fandoms that it's like, these guys are a little worse than usual, or these guys are a little better than usual. Like, and I was thinking about that the other day and kind of trying to figure out why that is. Like, I would say, and feel free to disagree with me on this, but I would say that for the most part, the Half-Life fandom is pretty chill as fandoms go. And I think part of it is because we literally have nothing to argue about. Like there's never any new games. There's never been bad games, and it's basically just a bunch of friendly autistic people. So Half-Life and the IP has only ever been owned by one company. There's nothing for us to argue about. Now as soon as the IP gets sold to, I don't know, Ubisoft or whatever, then it's gonna be complete hellish. But then there's and I love the games, but the Silent Hill fandom is insane.
Yeah.
I love Silent Hill, but there's Silent Hill fans and Silent Hill fandom, and you know what I mean. And then it made me realize while I was thinking about this that Dark Souls is it's like both extremes at once, because the chill people, the chill part of the Souls community, are extremely chill, and then there's the toxic part is like extremely toxic, and it's kind of both at once, because you have the people who are in the game or into the games because they're like, yeah, this is a bunch of like ball crushing stupid bullshit and it's amazing. And then you have the people who are into the games because they're like, I'm gonna prove how much of a skillful badass I am. And those are the people that you want to be scared of, because they're the ones who are like, this balance decision was so bad and Terran, it's objectively bad design. Then the other half is like, wow, this sucks. It's kind of amazing. It sucks. So anyway, I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know if you had thoughts on that too, Dylan. It's kind of interesting just to observe like what because it's something that like the creators of a thing don't actually have that much control over, is what sort of fans you end up getting or what the culture in your fandom is.
Yeah, sadly, because I was a Source and Half-Life modder, I have actually seen a lot of the ugliness in that community.
That's fair. Let me put an asterisk there, or asterisks. I never know how to pronounce that word, but let me say I'm talking more about the player side and not the modding side, because that's also why I think for most people's experience, the Doom community, as if we're not arguing about the Marauder, the Doom community is relatively chill, but my experience with like Doom and Quake fandoms has been sort of artificially negative because I made Dusk.
Yeah.
But anyway, and also like
it's like that for me with the Thief community too.
Yeah, that immersive sims in general. It's like, man, there's some really awesome people, and there's some people who are just really nasty for some reason.
Also, you have like 20,000 souls. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't. I do now. And I have regrets about what my decisions were. Shoot. And then, of course, there's an invader. Oh, there's spiders coming out!
Yeah, this is, the gang getting is happening right now.
Oh, man, there I go. What does Randy Savage say in the Cream of the Crop video? An unenviable position that I'd rather not be in. That's where I was. So Chuma, there definitely has been a beef in certain areas of the community about Dusk, but that was also years ago, and that was like back when, where's the bonfires? Over here. Gotta light those things. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. But yeah, that was also years ago, and that was when there weren't a whole lot of boomer shooters, and so it was kind of like Dusk was the new thing that a bunch of people were like, oh, this isn't, what is this? Some rando making something that isn't as good as Arcane Dimensions, basically. But yeah, probably at this point, probably people have probably chilled out a lot more, but I kind of just disengaged from a lot of those communities because of that.
Yeah, that's kind of my experience too.
Is there beef between Quake modders and Wrath? As I recall, they were pretty happy with Wrath because, I mean, it was
made by,
because it was made by modders. That's the thing. It's like, I don't have a modding background, and I don't have I don't have the immense skill and experience that a lot of Quake modders would bring to the table. So yeah, but anyway, like I said, this was years ago, it's probably a lot different now.
Yeah, that's the other element that you brought up, is that
Oh shoot.
you're considered sort of like an outsider to the modding community.
Yeah.
And that's, people are gonna get weird about that.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
But in a way, it's so all my prior experience to making games was modding. You know, I mapped for many years, and I think even with that experience, I think there's validity with coming into a genre from the angle that you came in, just being like, hey, I love these games growing up. I wanted to make something that sort of like, you know, had that same vibe to it. And yeah, it's going to be different than, you know, Arcane Dimensions, but it's like, it's fine. Like, it doesn't, you know, people get so weird about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, one thing I should clarify, I think I probably stated this badly previously, but I think as far as the number of people or like how many sources this was coming from, this was not like, it wasn't like everyone, because there were a whole lot of people in those sort of community, in like Doom and Quake communities that I've interacted with that are awesome. And so it's like a what is that, loud minority, I guess.
Yeah.
But even a small number of people seems like they're talking for a whole community when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, and that's the exact same experience I have
any souls
with the thief community. Like, the vast majority of the people that I've like interacted with have been awesome, and like everyone who worked on like the Black Parade, most of the people in the modding scene are awesome and are just like super cool. Just every now and then I get like a couple people who are like, they just the hostility coming from them is shocking and just like catches me off guard, and I'm like, why, how do you like, why do you have so much hate in your heart? You can just say you don't like the game. You don't have to write me like an essay about why I'm a bad person.
Yeah, I think the flip side of making something that like serves a fan base that hasn't really eaten well in a while is that, somewhat understandably, if you're really deep into that community, you feel protective about like Thief or Doom or whatever. Like, so when someone seems, to your point of view, like they're getting it wrong, you're like, hey, what? Whoops, that was the wrong bonfire. Shoot. Then it's understandable that the reaction is then like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't come here and ruin this thing. Which I guess Doom 2016 had just come out, but other than that, like, there wasn't a lot. The boomer shooter fans were not eating well until suddenly they were eating very well, and have been for a while.
Yeah.
And immersive sim fans, that one's harder.
Yeah.
Because there are quite a few immersive sims, like in indie immersive sims and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's appropriate for such a divisive genre label that it's a little hard to pin down the wider like immersive sim community, I guess, because there's like like if you're a Thief fan, it doesn't necessarily mean you're an Arcane fan. There's definitely overlap, but it's not quite the same as like if you're a Doom fan or a Boom Shoot fan. You're probably you probably have a very similar list of games to someone else. In the, well, I guess, yeah, I don't know. Or I think I'm probably talking out my ass a lot here. Because, like, are there that many people that like Thief and don't like, you know, Other?
I don't know. I just know that the route that I decided to take with it was like the two options was basically you either conform and try and like buy those people over and be like, okay, I'll make Dusk more like Quake or whatever, or you just sort of accept that like it's not Quake, it's kind of its own thing, and maybe it's fine that it's like that. And for me, I decided to go with the latter. I was like, okay, well, Gloomwood isn't Thief, and it doesn't. Maybe that's fine that it doesn't need to be, and I'll never end up making those people happy because it'll never give them, it'll never be Thief for them.
Yeah.
And it's probably pointless to even try to be that.
It is really weirdly hard to. You'd think it would be easy. You'd think it'd be sort of like the design equivalent of doing like a paint over or something when you are making something that is like, yes, this is supposed to be like a spiritual successor to this thing, or it's supposed to capture the same thing as this thing, but it actually gets really difficult when you start having to make the decision of what elements do I copy and what elements do I try to change or improve. And that gets really hard because if we're talking about like a legendary game like Doom or Thief or something like that with this huge pedigree, then it's really hard to figure out what are the elements that people genuinely want to be different and what are the elements that they'll be annoyed with you if you change.
And those elements change person to person,
and it's,
which is crazy. Like, I know we have the contingent of people who play Gloomwood, doing non-lethal ghosting, and the game doesn't really support that in the same way that like Thief does.
That was an early on. That was an early on decision too. We're like, no ghosting, and then it turns out people who ghost are
determined.
They're determined, yeah. That Dusk has an SDK, but so you need to opt into the SDK branch on Steam, which I don't believe you need a password for, last I knew. Ooh, is there an enemy here that I could... Did that do anything helpful? No, but maybe I don't know if I can move it over enough. Well, shall I try the plunge attack?
Rare plunge attack win? Nope.
Nope. Common plunge attack L.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish that the plunge attack were better in this game. It was considerably more violent than you. Dark Souls 2 is an immersive sim. Oh, geez.
Oh, God.
Sorry, just drinking some tea. Try again. Nope. Plunge attack L once again. Alright, Invader, where are you? Grab my souls first. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
There we go.
This is such an evil little spot.
It's such an evil spot for an invader to show up. When spiders.
And he's carrying two, like, repeating crossbows.
Yeah. You are going to... No! Go in the pit! Go in the Sarlacc pit. There. I did want him to go in the pit, though. That's disappointing.
Well, now we get the bucket going. Oh, no, the bucket didn't go in the pit.
I will make sure it goes. Oh, it's like rolling back and forth. One bucket. I don't want to go in the pit, though. Oh! The bucket can move me.
The bucket has a mind of its own.
There we go.
There we go. Goodbye, bucket.
And it just goes away.
All right.
Petrified dragon bone.
the point about Silent Hill fans though is very funny because I think out of I'd almost say that survival horror has probably had the best renaissance of games out of a lot of different genres. There's like a lot of really good, both AAA and indie survival horror games now. But
I'll tell you what, there's if any fandom doesn't have an excuse to be mad, it would be Resident Evil, because good lord, if you are a Resident Evil fan, you have been gorging yourself these past few years. Like, no matter what type of Resident Evil fan you are, you have an ample supply of extremely good new releases, be they indie or AAA.
Yeah, so it's the thing is though is the like toxicity with Silent Hill fans, specific, and you know we're really talking about Silent Hill 2 fans. You know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, but that doesn't extend to survival horror in general. Where you know I really don't see that many like extremely weird Resident Evil fans in the same way that people have gone absolutely ape shit over Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, well, there are weird Resident Evil fans, but it's in the way it's in the like ooh, Spider-Man. It's in like the innocent way of like, hi, I draw a lot of Leon Kennedy porn. So I think the Silent Hill 2 thing, I think it's like a perfect storm in a way where what is going on there? It's a tiny little candle flame making all that light.
It might be an occluder bug.
Yeah. Silent Hill 2 is like sort of a game that started out like, first of all, you have a game that has, especially for its time, some pretty high-minded concepts and goals, especially for its time. That is also kind of a sleeper hit on release. And then it's also something that is like the IP has been handed around to all sorts of different developers and basically has not had a game that lives up to people's expectations since what, Silent Hill 3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not enough to make it blow up. Shoot.
Yeah, 4 has its contingents of fans, but 4 is kind of its own beast.
So it's like, of course, people are gonna be really, are gonna be really weird. It's like the last, in a
interesting
sense.
I rarely see people who are super weird about Silent Hill 3. Like I'll see people say like, oh, you know, Silent Hill 3 sucks, or Silent Hill 3 is like amazing. It's like the best one.
It's because Silent Hill 2, this is what I think at least. It's because Silent Hill 2 is genuinely a fairly high-minded game relative to anything else that was coming out at the time, and was overlooked and undervalued for such a long time. And that, I think that's kind of a perfect storm of like, it's almost like this death spiral in a way of like, you guys don't understand this game, you don't understand how deep this, you know what I mean? Because genuinely, for a time, that probably was true. It's like, you guys don't get this, but then it kind of keeps feeding back on itself until you get to the point of like people trying to explain the symbolism to the game's artist, who is like, no, that's not what this means.
I love, that's the fucking so funny thing is that you know, I played through Silent Hill 2 and I loved it. I was like, man, this game is incredible. And then like over the years, just seeing the like the YouTuber analysis circle just feed itself over and over until basically people have all these ideas of what Silent Hill 2 is and they're all wrong. It's so incredibly funny.
Yeah, it is, and it's a shame because the game is genuinely fantastic, but there's also this element of like, it's a little bit, I really hate to use the word overrated because it's not overrated. but it's been put up on such a high pedestal now that it's like, getting a little bit toward overrated. Oh yeah, and I mean, both Dylan and I are extremely mad on the Silent Hill 2 remake. Also,
yeah,
I think there's very little chance of that game being a good remake.
I'm gonna play it just for mostly comedic value.
I mean, not to discredit, not to like downplay the work of everyone who's working on that game. I just think that it's basically impossible to remake Silent Hill 2 and have it land. Something like Resident Evil is easy. That Resident Evil is super easy to remake because there has never been a point in time where Resident Evil wasn't incredibly stupid. Like, from moment one, that series has always been super stupid, and you can kind of get away with everything. If you make a game that can't be taken seriously, and the voice acting is terrible, and the story is terrible, and like, it's fine. It's like, yeah, it's Resident Evil, that fits. Or if you make a game that's like, well, it's a little action heavy, maybe not as much dread building and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. It's kind of more like 4, more like those games. Like, Resident Evil is easy. Silent Hill is like impossible because you can't. Yeah, I did try to open this chest. I thought it was just a little mini chest. I guess not. Like, I don't even know how you would possibly try to capture what it's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, if they had come out and were like, we're remaking Silent Hill 2, it's the complete original team, people would still be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The fact that they came out and were like, it's the layers of fear devs who are making it, everyone was just like, uh-oh.
It's a doomed mission. Okay, so what am I missing here? There's a spider up there. If I could get up to that ledge again. Can I get up there?
And someone brought this up earlier, but Resident Evil does have that sort of weirdness of like, oh, you know, what's a real Resident Evil game? When did it switch to like action and stuff like that? Because it does. Obviously, it's different now, but there really was that period of time where everyone was like, man, they're really fucking up Resident Evil. Resident Evil, what is it, 6?
Yeah. 6 was the one. Like, I think 5 had its fans at the time and still probably does, but like 6 was the one where everyone was like, guys, you gotta stop this. Okay. What am I missing here? Look at the ambient occlusion. It almost makes it look like a toon shader.
Yeah, it's very strong here. So couple things you could do here. You might be able to bash that door open to the right of you. Is it metal or is it wood?
The left?
This one? No, I don't think you can bash that open. So there was a room back where you were that had a bookshelf. I think you went behind it.
I might have missed something. I'll backtrack and look around. Yeah,
the room with the candle normally has a NPC here, but she's not here.
Okay. So I am of the opinion that Resident Evil has mostly always been action horror, even when it was survival horror. There's like the only example. Let's come back here. Yeah, there's nothing here. The only real example of it being that sort of really punishing, really
back here. Go in this room. Yes, forward.
Right this. Oh my gosh, that's a door there. That's a problem. Wow, look at that.
Yep.
That blends it. So the Resident Evil 1 remake is really the only one before Capcom remade 2 and stuff that kind of went heavy on that, like, dread driven, you know, you don't have that much resources and you're scrambling for every little bit you can. Like, even, well, maybe like, what I'm thinking is that Resident Evil 2, while a fantastic game, was pretty action heavy, like, compared with what people seem to think it is in their minds. There's a lot of shooting and not a whole lot of resource management in Resident Evil 2.
Buzzamintier posted, I think having less and less classic survival horror games only contributed to the general dislike of RE5 and 6. I absolutely do feel like that. I feel, and I distinctly remember myself and other people feeling like that and being like, man, I really wish Capcom would, you know, go back to sort of the roots of Resident Evil. And now it feels very different because now it's sort of like, well, now we are being served very well in the classic survival horror vibes that I'm sort of okay when they make a game and it's sort of like, it's not really like, you know, it's not RE1 remake good, but, you know, it's fine. We have like 1 billion really, really good survival horror games now.
Yeah, agreed. I just think that the dichotomous, like, black and white thing of, like, Resident Evil used to be horror and then it was action and now it's horror again is kind of not correct, because even when it was supposedly all horror, it was still pretty action driven. They've always been a combination of, like, horror, resource management, and action. And, like, for 5 and 6 definitely went too far in the wrong kind of action sort of direction.
People in the same thing with like Doom. People being like, oh, Doom is only action. It's not supposed to be ambushes and horror and or all that kind of stuff. You know, it's always been on a sliding scale of like what is each entry sort of focusing on.
Yeah. Here we go. Some of it might also be that over the years, there's the divide between, like, action games and horror games has become much more pronounced than it was in years previous. Like, before like Amnesia kind of took everything by storm, there were not very many horror games that didn't have a combat component. Yeah. They existed. It's not like Amnesia was the first game to do that, but there weren't that many. And usually it was like, well, it's a horror game, so you're going to fight monsters or whatever. And that's just not the case anymore. It's like it's relatively uncommon to have a horror game that actually has you, like, fighting stuff, compared with having a horror game where you're, like, running away or where you're doing stuff other than fighting the monsters. Which that's not a judgy thing, but it is, like, I think in people's minds, especially if you're a little bit younger, horror does not, like, the idea of, like, fighting back and being scared are much wider apart than they were back in, like, the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why Amnesia was so big, was just the whole idea of, like, oh my god, you're defenseless, you have to run from this monster. Was like a huge deal. It was like that was the driving point. This game is so scary because of that. And yeah, now it seems so, like, different now. It's like, man, that was unique. It's crazy, but it's crazy to think about, but it definitely was. Yeah.
I remember that being incredibly terrifying, playing, like, Penumbra and Amnesia and not really having a good option for fighting back. It was like a brand new feeling. All right, was there anything I missed back here? Yeah, definitely Madman. The perception of Doom is influenced by the fact that the stuff that was scary when Doom came out just isn't scary to people now. Because when Doom came out, it was almost comparable to like when people were playing horror games in VR for the first time, where the new added realism was like, just that alone was enough to trigger people, like fight or flight. I don't trust this at all. That looks spiky.
Yeah, I do remember there is a bonfire around here, but I'm trying to remember. It's in one of these fucking buildings.
I have so many souls. If I can break this. Yes, I can. Okay. Wait, is there... I realized just as I pressed the button that there was sand coming out from under the door. Is this one going to be else? I don't see any sand back there, so. And yeah, the community also abandoned the horror aspects in Doom, which I get. I just feel bad for Doom 3, basically. Okay, so that door was locked.
And what about... No, that wooden door is the one you came through, right?
I believe so, yeah. And then this is the stairway. Okay.
I vaguely remember you have to, like, jump somewhere to fucking get the bonfire. Oh, because the scaffolding broke, didn't it? You can't reach it because the scaffolding broke.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I remember you have to, like, jump to, like, it's a drop-down point back where the previous bonfire was.
Do I hear it? Or is that wind? I think that's wind I'm hearing, not a bonfire.
It might be wind. This area is such a fucking clusterfuck.
You will feel empathy for Doom 3 when the shotgun works. Doom 3 shotgun discourse. To cap all of that off, I also want to make it very clear that when talking about like fandoms, doesn't necessarily mean anyone who is fans of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's I think of fandoms as like it's a collective. It's not any one. Like when I talk about like the Silent Hill fandom, that isn't any single person. It's just sort of the collective. Like the collective, not consciousness. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but not directed at like specific people necessarily, or at anyone who happens to like the thing, because that would be dumb. Because every single fandom has a huge swath of different people who like the thing for different reasons and have different personalities and different levels of it. Just Anyway, what were you gonna say?
The sea consciousness of fandom.
Yeah. So this is not the door I came through. Or wait.
Which speaking of which.
Oh yeah, it was. Okay.
Stalker definitely has the most sane and well together fan base ever.
Oh,
right?
Man. What makes me sad now is that there's like I've talked about before, I'm more of like an OG Stalker guy. I think so I have to either homeward bone back or press forward. And I think I'm gonna should I press forward?
Do you have one of those rings that breaks if you die and
that's a good point.
Lose your souls? Because
I've never used one of those before. This might be a good time to use it. Yeah, it's kind of sad because like I'm more of an original Stalker guy, but I do like some things like Anomaly does, and so it's sad to see that there is such like discourse brewing about Stalker 2 versus like Gamma and Anomaly and things like that, which I'd rather everyone just kind of enjoyed their stuff, got along. What is it? Okay, let's go through all of them.
Yeah, Jarvie, I totally get that. I'm honestly, I'm actually I'm a a clock tower enjoyer myself. But I actually enjoyed Outlast. There's actually quite a few horror games that don't have a very pronounced combat element that I enjoy. It's just sort of like if I'm in the mood for a survival horror game, or if I'm in the mood for, you know, a straightforward horror game. And I also kind of like when games do try to navigate between both of those. I feel like Alien Isolation is a game that navigates both those spaces in an interesting way. Like it has times where you have to run from the alien or hide from the alien, and then there's times where you can use your flamethrower and you get a bit more of an active choice in pushing the alien away from you. So I don't think like one approach or the other approach is worthy of derision.
Agreed.
It's just a matter of like what kind of game are you looking for, and how that game sort of achieves its goals. Or Amnesia Bunker, another amazing example. A game that, for the most part, you effectively are going to be playing sort of hide and seek with this monster, but now you actually have more options than just running away. You have options to distract it. You have options to lure it into a trap to make it, take damage and run away. Like there's definitely a lot of cool things that you can do in horror that's beyond the scope of just you're running away from the monster, or it's a classic survival horror resource management type game.
Yeah, agreed. I have nothing against any of those type. Oh, why did my controller buzz? I don't like that. It does that when there's an invasion. Oh
no.
Yeah, I kind of like. So are these spiky? Are these spiky? Yes, they are. They sure are spiky. They look spiky and they're spiky. All right. Decadence, be glad you have Slav jank to pick from at all, ungrateful children. Yeah, basically. I guess because now I'm... Like, I remember when Stalker was... Oh, Lord. Look at this. Alright, I'm gonna Homeward Bone and just use these souls so I don't have to worry about it. I remember when Stalker was, like, lesser known. And if you like there wasn't really subsections of Stalker fandom. It was just you liked Stalker, and yeah, like. So I guess I'm still kind of in the mindset of like, well, it's Stalker is Stalker. That said, the tactical gun stuff isn't really for me. When mods go heavy on like the tactical, like, survivalist role-playing sort of thing, I'm like, it's not quite what I like about Stalker.
I saw some, I think it was a Stalker 2 Steam forum, but someone posted like, this should have just been Gamma 2. Just like oh yeah. No. Yeah, that's gonna be so fun navigating people who are coming to Stalker for the original games and people coming to Stalker from like Gamma and Anomaly, and just
it's gonna be rough.
The mixed expectations that those give.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that and then probably do some. Which one is it? Endurance or Vitality? One of them.
Yeah,
how is the schism? Yeah.
I've sunk so many hours into Anomaly. I love Anomaly, but I have no expectations of Stalker 2 being like Anomaly. If they can even capture just what's good about the original Stalker games, I will be happy. I'll
Pretty
be
much,
ecstatic.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Maybe large soul? Is that worth 4? That's worth 3. Okay. Maybe they could make Gamma 2 as a standalone. Lost Alpha was a standalone, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think... Is Gamma not a standalone right now? I'm pretty
Gamma
sure Lost Alpha was.
Gamma is basically Anomaly, but like a curated, like giant mod list for Gamma.
That's what I thought.
Or
Yeah.
for Anomaly.
For Anomaly, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I always thought that was kind of an interesting thing, because I might be wrong about this, but I don't really recall that being a thing very much when I was younger, about these sort of mods could be more than just like, you know, you made a mod for a game, or, you know, you made a bunch of maps for a game. Mods now can be a collection of other people's mods.
I also don't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're meant to like create a sort of experience from that game. Like, oh, you know, this is Gamma is basically someone putting together like 100+ mods and being like, here's what, if you put all these mods together, it makes this sort of game from this other game, which is like, it's really cool actually. I'm not a big fan of Gamma, just because I feel like for mostly the same reasons, David. It was like, oh, it's a bit much for me in places compared to what I want from Stalker. But conceptually, that's a very interesting way to approach games.
It is, yeah. I hadn't thought about it before now, but you're right. That is something I don't think existed when we were younger, but it's a really cool concept.
It kind of reminds me, something I used to do when I was younger is, you know, I would play like GTA, and I would turn on all the cheats that would make it so like, you know, everyone can target each other. Everyone has like, there'd be ammo like everywhere, guns everywhere.
Nice.
I would just make it basically like a chaos simulator. Just like everyone, you're literally driving and everyone's exploding each other and killing
that's
each other.
amazing. That sounds great.
Yeah, and I would just play it like that because I at younger me was just sort of like, I can't focus on a fucking main story. I just want to drive around and like, you know, blow stuff up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of like you're curating your own sort of experience with a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then if
turning Vice City into the active war zone, yeah.
And then if it were possible to like package that up and send it to other people as a single thing, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, with GTA, it was just with cheats, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess you could just, yeah. Yeah,
it's funny that Anomaly kind of has that too, with the kind of clear sky. Like, oh, you can play Warzone mode where everyone's in factions and they can take over. Like, you know, you could fight and take over, you know, the Brain Scorcher from Monolith.
Why is Spider?
How is Spider?
How is no one ever asks how is Spider. Who is Spider? Indeed. So there's a thing there I should probably get. Oh, what is that noise? I don't like that noise. Oh, it's that guy. Well, this is certainly a mesh just sort of clipped into the landscape, isn't it? Oh, man, the camera's betraying me.
So getting into here is not the problem. Getting out of here is the problem.
I'm seeing that, yeah. I wonder if I can...
I've died so many times trying to get...
Oh, into the pit I go. Oops.
Yeah, I've died so many times trying to get out of that friggin' hut.
Yeah, I can see why.
At least you spent all your souls, so now it's like not a big deal.
Yeah. I probably should have seen if I could upgrade anything with those other 2000 or whatever. Oh, speaking of GTA, so I hadn't ever really played any of the well-known GTA games. So I've been off and on playing Vice City for the first time. I of course got Cam's advice on what I need to install to make it work perfectly on PC and get like all the PS2 shaders back and stuff. And that's really interesting to play that game after all these years and see what it's actually like versus what I thought it was like, because it isn't. I guess I'd always thought GTA was less arcadey than it actually is, and that's kind of a good thing, that it's actually a lot more arcadey than I thought it was. That's been very fun. I just love the whole aesthetic. Like
it's
how
so good.
It's great.
Even
Vice City is less arcadey than 3, is it?
I can't remember. It might have been Cam that said this, but
shoot.
I remember. I guess maybe this is a sort of common experience if you played it when you're younger, but when I played Vice City, it was that sort of time where you could kind of you didn't understand how games worked, so the rules about like, oh, you know, this is a video game thing didn't really apply. And one of those things was like, you know how like the bridges in GTA games are like closed until you like get a certain part of the story, and then the bridge opens, and then you can go to that area. I remember talking to Cam about like, oh, when you're younger, you're sort of like, oh, they're doing construction on the bridge. Maybe when I like log in the next time I play, they're gonna be done and that area will be open.
Yeah,
just like things that you don't understand. That like, oh no, this is just an obstacle that the game is putting in the way, and you're using like real world logic to sort of.
Yeah, I remember. Even when I was like old enough that I was playing Half-Life, like when I was a teenager, I remember I never understood why there were, to be fair, I still don't completely understand why there's like jibs coming out of all the machines in residue processing. And I remember trying to use no clip to like look and see where they were coming from. Like, which I don't know why I don't know why I thought there'd be something hidden there. I guess I was just that immersed in Half-Life.
It'd be so funny if you no clipped and you actually saw the body that was being jibbed.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe, I guess something like that. Like I'd find the source of them and it'd explain. I still don't understand why there's jibs coming out of all the machines, honestly. Was that them disposing of like the scientist bodies, or?
Yeah, I don't know. Some level designer being like, oh man, it'd be so cool if jibs just came out.
Yeah, more than likely it was more like that, where it's like, hey, why don't I just put a jib emitter here? That's kind of fun, right? You have to reach Gabe's like quota that he had for every however many feet there needs to be something eventful happening.
Yeah. All right, put the jib creator here.
Yeah, like what's going on here that's interesting? Well, jibs. Oh, this is not good. That's not okay. I do enjoy the very obvious like UV lines on that thing. Oh, what did I miss?
It was someone advertising.
Oh, stupid ad. Looking forward
the
to
real
Jason.
fucked up thing is those machines shot jibs before the resonance cascade.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm not necessarily interested in the Blizzard documentary just because I don't actually have much. I don't really have any history with Blizzard apart from really liking Diablo 2. I'm apparently I'm a bit of an anomaly in that I never have played World of Warcraft.
Lucky you.
Am I lucky though? You guys all have like, you have the stories and like, back in the days, or it's like, oh, it sounds like it was fun, or is that rose-tinted glasses?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Gotcha.
There's definitely fond moments, and actually, like Allie and I kind of bonded originally through WoW.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because we were friends in middle school, and it was just sort of like, oh, we're into video games, and at that time everyone was getting into WoW, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's part of it is like
shoot.
yeah, there were some really like great experiences, most of which are just tied to like, you know, doing stuff with your friends or with like guildies, social things, the parts that MMOs are good for. And then there's all the times where it's like, oh, I'm grinding this shit out. Oh, I'm doing, you know, waste of fucking time stuff.
Yeah.
That I definitely don't miss. And
right.
probably would have been better served playing a different game.
I hate this guy so much. It's so irritating. Oh, right, the spiders. Rain of spiders. If I remember correctly, wasn't...
Wow, fuck
Dang
you,
it.
spider.
Yeah. Wasn't Rain of Spiders in Faith 3, wasn't that, like, Airdorf's placeholder thing? We were like, no, don't replace that. That's too good.
I mean, it is
I
good
think
that
yeah,
it shouldn't have been placed.
I might be making that up, but I think that was the case. It's so good though. Rain of Spiders.
Sometimes you put shitpost things in your game, and it's like, actually, we have to keep this.
Yeah. Yep. It's always a gamble with putting a joke in a New Blood build, because there's a more than zero chance that everyone's gonna be like, no, you got to keep that now.
Yeah.
Isn't Faith connected to Dusk? I don't think there's any official connection, but it's hinted at. I think it's hinted at that most of the New Blood games are connected, or at least the earlier ones, isn't it?
Yeah, Dave is screaming somewhere, being like, "No, I told them it's all part of the New Blood universe."
Yeah, probably. What was I gonna say? Oh, I don't remember. Oh well. Oh, that's right. I was Rachel and I, our game we bond over is Earth Defense Force.
Really? That's amazing.
Rachel, it's like Rachel's favorite games are, or her favorite series are Halo and Earth Defense Force.
Halo. That,
Rachel loved Halo in college, and it started because I got her into Red versus Blue. Oh, this isn't gonna work, is it?
Yes, Red versus Blue.
Yeah, and then the sad part of it is that part of the reason she was so into it is that's what she would watch, because we didn't go to college at the same place, so that's what she would watch when she was sad because she was missing me. Which is sad. But yeah, she played through, let's see, I think it was 1, 2, and 3, and a little bit of 4, and she didn't like 4, and then decided she was done. I don't think, yeah, she didn't play Reach, but yeah, so she loves Halo and she loves EDF because you get to shoot giant bugs, so everyone loves that.
Based.
Wait, what am I? Is this really the smartest idea? Is there a smarter thing I can do? Well, I could take them out with my bow that I have arrows for. This guy's the big problem.
Yeah, when this guy despawns, it's gonna be a glorious day.
Yeah. Say she jumped off the ship in time. Halo. Yeah. I keep, now that Master Chief Collection is like on Steam, I keep being like, we should go through those in co-op, but we haven't done it yet because we're too busy playing EDF 6. And that, oh good, that does block them. Okay. She also really likes Power Wash Simulator.
There was like a study that came out that was like, Power Wash Simulator is actually good for your mental health, and I was like, sweet.
Nice. Certainly has been for Rachel. I got like the Steam Deck OLED, so I gave her my old original Steam Deck, which basically she's used as a power wash simulator machine.
Good.
Which is, yeah. I think the reason that she stopped and hasn't played it recently is because she was literally getting like she was like hurting her hand from playing it too much. No. Because she you know, plays games but not that much, so she doesn't have like the built up muscle memory for or like the muscles built up from doing nothing but playing video games for 20 years.
Yeah, it's hard because Allie is an illustrator and you know plays games a lot, which is you know, the double combo of everything I do in my life is with my wrist and hand.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, like when the strain comes, the strain definitely comes.
Yeah, that is a problem. I assume for you also, but definitely for me, because I'm using the mouse for work. I'm using the mouse for you know, recreation. That's why I sometimes just lay in bed and play Steam Deck, because then it's like, well, at least it's a slightly different sort of RSI that I'm giving myself.
Yeah, it's not the mouse movement.
Yeah,
it's just thumb movement.
Oh, what are we talking about? The Halo community might be the most continually miserable. Do you think?
They've definitely had rough patches in those years.
I could see that being the case of out of all of like really big IP fandoms, they're the most miserable. Because geez, Halo was on top of the world in 2007. Like, wasn't it at the time? It was the biggest media release of all time. Like, not biggest video game release, biggest media release of all time. Like,
it's, 2007. Which one is that? That's
3.
not Halo 3, is it?
Yeah, that's
it
3.
is Halo 3. Okay.
Yeah, 2007 was a crazy good year for shooters. It was like Halo 3, Crisis, Half-Life 2, Episode 2, BioShock, Shadow of Chernobyl. What am I? Call of Duty 4 was 2007.
Oh,
yeah, crazy good year. Time Shift, yeah, I love Time Shift. I think it got panned on release, if I remember correctly. But I've always thought Time Shift was really fun. It's like Half-Life 2, but with time powers. Like, what's not to like? Okay, so I need to go this way. I need to stop wasting time and actually play the game. It was the Halo decade. I'm not sure. So how is it that Call of Duty was able to dominate and Halo kind of just fizzled out? Like, what happened? Was it just because of Bungie, like, leaving the helm?
I think, I don't know, I feel like any answer I give here is just going to be ripping out of my butt. But I kind of feel like, so I remember in middle school that both Halo and Call of Duty, like 2 and 3, were pretty popular. Like a lot of my friends like played both of those, but it was really when Call of Duty moved to the more like modern setting that, yeah,
that's when it exploded.
I think that ended up appealing to people quite a lot, and maybe, I mean, honestly it could just be that more people relate to the sort of modern military shooter fantasy than they do to like sci-fi.
Maybe, yeah. At least at the time.
Sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah. High budget military shooter during, well, can you count 2007 as still post 9/11? Because that's many years removed at that point. Not that, I mean, for sure people vibed with the modern military setting really hard. It's just odd because, like, at the time that Halo came out, Call of Duty was for sure not a small IP, but it was comparatively, like, the kind of the underdog, because World War II shooters were oh, good lord. that's so mean.
What's behind door number 2?
Yeah. World War II shooters people were getting World War II shooter fatigue. And like I said, Halo 3 was just massive at the time. It's just so odd that then Halo did not really, it just sort of fizzled out. A lot of Halo's dominance could be attributed it to be the first to so many things. That's true. Although I do think it has a little bit of the Doom 3 effect, where I almost think that Halo is... Well, this is dumb to say because Halo was, like, immensely popular, but I almost think it's, like, better now than it was at the time, because there's some stuff that it does that, like, at the time was like, yeah, that's what games do, and now is like the sandboxiness. At the time, I wouldn't say that Halo and the sequels were that unusually sandboxy, but now going back and playing them, and it's like, oh wow, there's a unusual amount of freedom and kind of openness to these arenas.
Yeah, it's almost like a mid-ground between, like, what Call of Duty is and what Battlefield was. If you played Battlefield 1945, I forget which one that I played. Those arenas were massive.
Yeah.
Like, so huge that it could take a while just to even find another player.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, Halo's arenas are big and sandboxy, and you can definitely have, like, multiple battles happening at different parts of the map, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty was much smaller scale.
Yeah. Yeah, Halo is like, it's not, if you compare it to, like, Crisis or Battlefield. When was Battlefield 2? Was that like 2005 maybe? Around that time. But yeah, if you compare it with that, it's not, like, super open, but if you look at it...
Yep, 2005.
Okay, cool, I was right. If you look at it from the perspective of having, like, what, almost whole decade worth of super linear Call of Duty shooters, and then having, like, a decade worth of super open Far Cry shooters, not a decade worth, but you know what I mean. Then having a game that's like, okay, can I walk on this? Yes. Having a game that's, like, both not super open and not super linear is, like, really interesting and unique now. Same with Crisis. Like, Crisis is... I mean, I've always thought Crisis was really cool and kind of underrated because everyone got distracted by the graphics. The fact that it's, like, a high-powered game. But, like, Crisis and Far Cry 1 are now even more unique because they're, like, sandbox games, but they're not open world games. Halo 1 preempted modular copy-paste level design and then quickly scrapped it. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of copy-paste in Halo 1 for sure.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on chat. You think that it being so big is kind of disconnected from its core gameplay? Do you mean the openness, or do you mean the popularity? Yeah, chat. It is hard to catch up on chat while playing Dark Souls. Whoa, what is that flickering? Is that the... What is that? Is that the ambient occlusion doing that?
Oh yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, the shader doesn't like. The shader doesn't like it.
Yeah, the popularity. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it. Whoop, it goes. I think Halo always would have been a successful series, but it being like the biggest. Like the biggest IP for a while was definitely down to it being one of the first really good like console shooters. It's a fog wall. What's our time? Still got some time. Yeah. What got me into making games and now a movie adaptation of Iron Lung? I got into making games because of Myst, and the movie adaptation of Iron Lung was pretty much just a luck happened to be. The game just happened to be there at the right time and got chosen for Mark to adapt. I hear so many conflicting things about Infinite. Because I hear people saying that it's like actually quite good, and I hear people saying that it's terrible and unfinished. I want to try it at some point. But my attitude with new Halo is basically that there's what, 5 really good Halo games, and that's a good selection of good games. And I'm pretty fine with that being it. Like, if a new Halo game comes out and it's like, oh no, this is actually incredible, you gotta play this, sure, but like, I'm fine with Halo existing as 5 really good games, and I don't really need any of the modern sequels personally. That said, I'd be interested in trying Infinite, just because I hear that the combat is actually really fun. Oh, ad break right now. Sorry, guys.
I know I tried Destiny at some point and just really bounced off of it.
There is
just
nothing.
Wasn't my thing.
There is nothing about Destiny that appeals to me, other than maybe the gunplay. But even there, like I don't know, just not my style of game. There we go. Oh, we got a boss. So is the spider gonna have an attractive lady torso on it this time? Nope.
Sadly not.
Nope. Oh, geez. Is this gonna be Royal Spider Authority?
Royal Spider Authority. You'll never guess what this boss's fucking name is.
Giant enemy crab? I don't know. The Duke's deer free. You're right. I wouldn't have guessed that. Oh.
I think it's like in like the Duke's deer pet. Like, I don't know. I forget this fucker's lore.
Pet would make sense. I could equally see, since it's Dark Souls, I could see it being either pet or lover. And both are as equally...
Pet or lover?
Yeah, I could see both being equally viable.
That is an incredible, like, out of context statement.
Yeah. Well, just because Dark Souls has this really weird thing of being like how do you put it? Having like really perverse, deviant horniness in the lore that it basically does nothing to acknowledge. Like, it is left extremely unclear how exactly Seath Scaleless was making those hybrids. And it's very uncomfortably unclear how that was going down.
Consort Radon and Mikula moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I could see it being like, oh yeah, that guy was just, he had his side bitch was a spider. Well, those go those 20,000 souls. We forgot the bonfire again. Oh, I did forget the bonfire. There's only like 7 minutes left of the stream, so maybe instead of getting back to the boss, I will just get to that next bonfire. You'd rage quit if this happened to you? So I do get frustrated at games, but for some reason, oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think these games, they just sort of make you laugh when the shit happens, David.
Yeah, I've rarely, if ever, been frustrated by, like, a Souls game. I don't know why. I think it's just because of the context of you go in knowing that it's gonna be bullshit, and it's gonna, like, kill you in stupid ways, and you're gonna lose a lot of souls, and then it's like, when it happens, it's not, like, a mistake, it's just, this is what the game is, I guess.
God,
if that makes sense. That shadow looks
moment
nice.
During this run through where like you're like, you had all the souls on the line and you were like, oh, you know, I shouldn't jump for that item, but of course I will.
Yeah.
And you jump towards the item and then you're just like, oh, that's okay, I'll just go get those souls, no problem.
And then I got invaded.
The invader sign comes up like 2 seconds later. It's just
so good.
Just comical masterpiece. Like, you couldn't time that better if you
it was so good. Yeah, it was the fact that it was just due to stupid hubris was what made it so funny, where it's like that was a completely avoidable problem. Am I going to DevGam in Lisbon? No, I don't think I've ever gone to like a game dev thing, actually, come to think of it. Like, I've never been to GDC or anything like that.
GDC, you can skip. I've been to a couple GDCs.
Yeah, it doesn't... Oh, right. This guy. I'm running low on arrows now, too. I think I have enough to take both of them out, though. Oh. Okay, where is the magic part? There we go.
The weird thing is that, like, I went to GDC for college quite a few times, and every time I went, I was actually sort of like, I don't know if I fit in this industry.
Yeah.
Because I'd go to those events, go to the talks and stuff like that, and I don't know, I just didn't, I was like, I don't know if I really belong here.
Right.
And then what I instead started doing was going to like indie events, and then that was more like, oh, okay, this actually feels a bit more my speed.
Did I go the wrong way? I went the wrong way. I needed to go over there, didn't I?
Oh, right, yeah.
I think I do. Okay.
You can still, you're trying to get back to the boss arena, right?
No, I figured I would get the bonfire.
Oh, yeah, then yeah, you went the wrong way.
Okay. Into the Skylark pit. Let's try again. Yeah, we could do a funeral for the lost lives when I finally finish the game. Hard but fair. Yeah, I actually kind of hate the hard but fair meme because I think it's completely disingenuous and it actually sets up Like, it sets people up for the wrong expectations, because there are so many moments in this and Dark Souls 1, I can't speak for Dark Souls 3, where it's like, on a first playthrough, there is nothing fair about what happens. It is just something that screws you over. And I think that being okay with that concept is a key part of, like, being able to enjoy the experience and not just get frustrated and angry at it. Which, do you remember we had an interesting conversation with my brother Johnny earlier on in this series, because he tried out Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring and did not really like them, and one of the reasons is because for him, anytime the game pulled like a Dark Souls trick or like a Souls game trick, or anytime it threw a obstacle in his way, to him it felt like it was deliberately wasting his time with that.
Yeah.
Like, which I can understand. That makes a lot of sense. I don't feel that way. I think it's funny and enjoyable, but for him it was like, okay, this is deliberately, like, wasting my time, and it made him angry. But anyway,
it's like aggravating
yeah.
instead.
But so I think I don't like the hard but fair thing, because then you get people coming in expecting it to be like a fair challenge and a fair skill test, and that I just don't feel is what these games are. Where do I need to go?
It's for me, it's not like, oh, it's a fair skill test. It is literally, I'm walking in this room and it's suddenly a giant boulder is about to crush me. Like,
yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's comedy.
Is that where I need to go, over there? Or
you need to land...
Oh, the zip line messes it up. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you need to go back up.
Should I Sarlacc pit again? It feels wrong, but I don't want to waste a homeward bone when I don't, like, really need to.
Yeah,
I'll just start. Whoop.
Feed the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. That was a weird fall.
I feel like you need to... Okay, this bonfire, if I recall... I think you need to go out the front here instead of going down the stairs.
This way, you mean?
And then turn right.
Okay, so there's the zip line part. There's
no, because we've been there.
Down by the zip line, but without
Look to the right and down by the zip line without taking it. It is from where the zip line... Okay, so yeah, go back down the stairs then.
Okay. I think I see what you mean. Dark Souls 2 is the Dark Souls 2 of Dark Souls. That is true. Oh, wow. It's been that many times already. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
That discrepancy is so interesting between him... like, for him, it was a very aggravating, not fun thing, and then other people literally playing these games to relax.
Yeah.
It's such an interest. So is it off right here? Is it like down over there? That looks about right.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Oh, I vaguely remember... Yeah, vaguely remember this. You have to roll through the space.
Well, I think I'll... Ah! There we go.
There you go.
Oh no, I hear the guy doing his thing. That's not... This isn't a bonfire. This is death. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's interesting. That whole conversation with Johnny is interesting because he's also... I brought this up. He's a big survival horror fan, and I kind of feel like survival horror does some similar things, like you know, like the dogs bursting through the windows in Resident Evil.
Yeah,
a very like fuck you moment, and it can feel kind of unfair because it's like, how was I supposed to know that that was going to happen?
Yeah, it is interesting. Well, Johnny is also like me in the way that like very specific differences or ways of doing things can have a huge effect on enjoyment. Like how, you know, as we've talked about, like I don't really like Resident Evil 7, but I quite like Resident Evil 8. And I can explain why, but for a lot of people, it's like, why that doesn't make sense, why that would make it like a huge difference. So Johnny's also like that. So it's kind of not surprising to me, like, that he's like, well, yeah, I like this sort of thing, but this thing that's slightly different is too different, because that's just kind of how we are.
Oh, and there was the whole thing, I remember him talking about, like, trying to solve each enemy. Like, oh, I want to use the weapon that will solve them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep, like, fighting them. And it's just like a mentality that just is incompatible with how these games are.
Yeah, this is a terrible place for a bonfire. What were they thinking?
This bonfire sucks.
Take us a nice sit down by the massive spiders over there. All right, so it is 2:33, so that's going to be it for today. Great place to end, actually. At the bonfire. Oh, are they aggroed? No. Okay, that'll be a fun surprise for next time. When I forget what we're doing and I go around the corner and it's just like a giant flash mob of spiders. Game design is my this is the game design is my passion bonfire. You know how we've talked about how it's cool that like the bonfires are conceptually cooler than the Sights of Grace and Elden Ring because there's something innately sort of comfy and safe feeling about the bonfire. And this is like them trying to be as far away from that concept as possible. Like,
yeah, how can we destroy the sanctity of the bonfire?
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Now I will see you next week. I do plan on streaming on Wednesday, I think, unless anything comes up. And yeah, so have a good rest of your week. Thank you, Dylan. We're at 402 deaths. We've passed 400 deaths. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, everybody. And thanks for coming. Bye.